With us today on VIP TV, a very happy heavyweight, Nathan Gorman, who's looking forward to getting his career going. Nathan, now you've left Frank Warren and moved to Wasserman. How did that all come about?
Truthfully, Steve, it all came about maybe about 3 weeks ago, something like that. No more than 4 weeks anyway. Say about 3 weeks ago. They got in contact with my management team, obviously asked for like a sit down, like a coffee, like a meeting. And yeah, basically went from there. I like obviously what they had to offer. I liked the whole setup and stuff, and they had a good plan for me, and it was a good deal. So it was the right move for me.
Yeah. So when we're gonna see you next in action?
We're looking at end of November, beginning of December. So about 8 to 10 weeks time. I'll be in a big, like a good fight, good tough test, I'd imagine. So they've mentioned a few names already, and each one of them, the public know, so it'll be good.
Yeah. So, are you looking forward? You're looking at now heading towards that British title. I mean, that the Fabio Wardley seems the one that people are talking about, and the natural fight. Yeah. Even though you get on, you don't have to be. You can be friends and fight.
After.
Yeah,
exactly. Be friends after me. At the end of the day, it's just business. As for the British title, me and him only seem the right campaigners, obviously subject to what Joe Joyce is doing. All depends if he vacates, move on. I'd imagine he wants to obviously move on to the world level, which he's already at. He's number one in the world, so it'd be a backward step for him to fight for a British title, defend it and stuff. But you never know what he's doing. Obviously, if we don't end up fighting, I'd imagine I'll take a different route, international route. But if that fight can be made, I think it's a really good fight, especially for the British title.
Yeah, I mean, I dare say, if Joe gets ordered against you or Fabio, he's not going to take the fight. And that's no disrespect to you or Fabio, but as you say, he's going backwards and he's taking a big risk.
Put it this way, if I was Joe Joyce, I wouldn't want to defend my British title because he's, 35 plus. He's number one in the world. It's just, how can I put it? High risk, low reward type of thing to defend his British title again, isn't it? And
yeah.
There's no point. He might as well just continue what he's doing and get onto the world scene.
Well, even though you're a lot younger than him, if you were British champion in his position, you wouldn't be going to fight Fabio Wardley.
No, definitely not. I'd vacate it.
Yeah. So what happened with Frank? Did the contract up and you just went your own way, basically?
Yeah, basically, mate. Yeah, the contract was up and we just went. Like I said, they got in contact, Wasserman and Sowland, and that got in contact with my team about 3 weeks ago. I had sat down with them, coffee and that, and I just I just like what they had to offer. It was really good. I think it's a new page, new fresh start, new promotional team. So I think it's good. Obviously, fighting on a different broadcaster with Sky because they've got Sky dates. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. What is it? I know, it's you've moved camp, your contract's up at one. Does it still give you a boost signing with a new promoter like this? What sort of a boost does it give you in your career? Because I know, you've had 2 fights with Frank, while I think, was it 2 fights while the pandemic was on? One where on the undercard, then you had the impressive knockout win, and you looked them like there was momentum with you once again.
Definitely, that's the idea. Obviously, like you said, when I've just signed a new deal, I'm looking to impress a new audience. Obviously, I'm on a new broadcasting team with Sky, new promotional team, so I want to impress, and it's given me like a new lease of life. So I'm really looking forward to it. All I want to be is active. That's the main thing, I think, for everyone, especially my age. I want to keep on progression, keep on learning.
People forget you're still a very young heavyweight, and you've done a lot. You've had Dubois. We're already talking of, what are you, 24, 25 still?
Yeah.
I mean, you're still a baby in heavyweight terms.
Yeah,
We're talking Joe Joyce peaking at 35 now. You think
exactly.
He's 36? He's 36.
You think how many fights I'm going to have in 10 years' time?
Are you going to be here in 10 years' time? Or are you one of these guys who's looking to get, by the time you're 30, sit at home, in Nantwich there and counting your money all day?
True, that'd be nice. Truthfully, it all depends on me. I think as long as I'm happy and I'm still loving me training and boxing, I'll keep on doing it until I literally fall out of love with it. Whether I have 50 fights or 5 more, it all depends on how content and happy I am. Which at the minute I'm very happy and content. So I'd imagine there's a lot of years left in me.
If I just go back to the last two fights, you talk of contentness and happiness. What was the difference between the two fights? Because the performances were, night and day, weren't they?
Yeah. Obviously, the Larty fight, I'd come off, obviously, a loss to Daniel. I come off a 16-month layoff where I was abusing myself, my body, drinking, eating, going out, doing all sorts of silly stuff. But obviously, that happens, doesn't it? I should have really took it as a lesson instead of a loss, really, and just got back into the gym, which it's an experience, and that's what I've gained from stuff like that. So for the Larty fight, it was just mainly me getting back out there and get some rounds in and, trying to do what I could do. Obviously, I was I'm not the most rippedest heavyweight in the world, but I was very, very overweight in the Larty fight. And straight after that, I had about 3 days off and I got straight back into the gym, ready for my next fight. I was preparing for that, and I thought, I felt really good in myself. I got a lot fitter, a lot sharper, and obviously I stopped doing within 2. Yeah. So the difference was the Larty fight for me was all about falling back in love with boxing, getting the win and getting that feeling back.
Yeah. You got your first fight with your new promoters coming up the end of November, December. You were talking earlier in the interview about a new audience. Do you feel there's that pressure to go out there and do a job on someone and not another Larty performance?
Yeah, 100%. Listen, it's a business and everyone wants to see a knockout, don't they? It's a show business with blood. So that's what the paying people want to see. They want to see knockouts. Listen, you can't go out there be an idiot and start swinging, because in the heavyweight division it only takes one punch and then your career's down the drain then. So I've got to be cool, calm and collective, but also I want to get the job done. You don't get paid for overtime. But it all depends on the night, as well as I do, Steve. It's like that in boxing, it's up and down. Yeah,
well, there you go. But yourself, after the Larty fight, people were saying, why has he come back after the last fight? Oh, look how good he looks again. It's almost like football. You look at Manchester United, last Saturday night, they were going to win the league. 2 days ago, sack them all.
Yeah, exactly. That's sport, unfortunately, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, as you say, you go and blast someone out in a round, it's going to be how good you are.
You'll be $1 million, then you scrape a points win.
Yeah.
You're crap.
Do you take notice of all that, or do you just laugh it off?
Truthfully,
it must hurt a little bit, does it?
Truthfully, at the beginning, I used to look on the people's profile and everything, but nowadays, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. I get all sorts of stick on Twitter and social media, but the thing is, everyone's got a voice on social media, so they're entitled to it. Yeah. As long as I focus on what I'm doing, that's all that matters.
I mean, I don't know whether your paths are going to cross again. Is the Daniel Dubois fight something you'd like to put right, eventually?
100%. Yeah, 1,000,000%. Listen, if I had nothing going on in the background, I had a good camp, and he beat me again, I'd hold my hands up, because I'm like that. I'll hold my hands up. I got beat by the better man. Granted, he beat me the first time, but I had a few excuses on the outside, but it is what it is. If we cross again, I'd love it, because obviously I'd love to put a few demons to bed. But if we don't, it is what it is. I can't keep looking across the road and keep on looking at his career. I got my own career to focus on.
Yeah, I mean, but in fairness, you never made excuses. I mean, I'm mentioning more here, like when your young son, thankfully he's on the, he's better now. You were training, running around all the Hay Hospital car park, weren't you? So.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. See, no one really knows all this stuff. What was going on behind closed doors. I spent 5 to 6 weeks on a hospital floor and stuff. But we're fighters at the end of the day. And I can remember the night before the Dubois fight, after the weigh, my dad wanted to pull me out, and I said, "There's no way you're going to pull me out this one, Dad."
Yeah, but you're a fighting man, aren't you? You're not going to pull out
exactly.
a fight.
Yeah, exactly. I was intent to go in there with no arms, no legs. And if it was up to me, obviously I got stopped, the referee stopped. If it was down to me, I'd have still been in there now, taking a hiding.
Yeah, and your dad knows you better than anyone, because he's there with you every minute of the day. I haven't been to a training session when you was at Ricky's where your dad wasn't there.
Exactly, mate. He's with me every day. He's with me every day. He knows me. He can read me like a book. You know what I mean? He knows if I'm going to perform, not perform. He knows I'm flat. He knows literally everything about me. And obviously he knew in his own heart and mind that I wasn't right.
Does he still come to the gym every day and just sit on a stool at the back of the gym and say, he sits there and says nothing, just watches, doesn't he?
Yeah, he just watches me. That's all he does, yeah. I love him to be with me, obviously, every day. He's been with me every day since ever I can remember. He always asks me now and then. He said, "Have you had enough of this net yet?" And Nath, because he hates me doing it at the same time.
Yeah. So if you packed it up, would he be like celebrating that night then?
Oh, in his own out of mind, he's won the lottery when I pack it up.
Shows the love he's got for you, doesn't it? Because you get a lot of fathers who just want to push their son in. It says so much.
He's totally opposite.
He just wants you to go and get a normal job and have a pint with the lads at weekend.
Exactly. As long as I'm safe and sound.
So you're still training in Stoke? Because you're training, didn't he get an MBE or something, or an OBE off the Queen, didn't he?
That's right, yeah. He got a...
What's his name, sir? I saw...
Nathan Clark. And
Nathan Clark for the amateurs,
Lyndon, yeah. And Lyndon Newborn, yeah. So I'm still training in Stoke, and obviously Paul Reed, my strength and conditioning coach. So I mixed up between the two. You know, I'm with Paul Reed, strength and conditioning 3 times a week, and boxing the rest, and I have Sunday off.
Yeah. So when are you back in full-time camp?
We camp started Monday. So,
oh, sure.
Yeah, but obviously I've been ticking over. I really haven't been out of training, to be fair, since my last fight. I've been in the gym ticking over and stuff. I've been sparring and everything else. So I kind of been off camp, as you'd say, since my last fight.
Yeah. So if you're
maybe
fighting
like a week off.
Week off, really?
Yeah, like a week off here and there. So that's about it.
So when you have your fight at the end of November, December, you can enjoy the rest of December, can't you, this year? And
well, exactly. I can enjoy Christmas. If I box beginning of December, I can enjoy Christmas. But obviously I won't go too mad.
It's hard not to, mate. Hard not to if you over Christmas. I tell you what, if you deserve it as well if you've been training non-stop since the last fight.
Exactly, mate. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'll tell you what, thanks for joining us today on VIP TV. It's always lovely to catch up with you. And
yeah, it's good perhaps to see you, mate.
We'll catch up a couple of weeks before the fight and see where you are. Yeah, and 100%. You know, but it's good to see you smiling anyway.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Take care, Steve. Thanks.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.